I have awakened the ultimate power of the Holy Prophecy, the greatest book ever crafted by any mortal hand on this whole earth. What I've crafted, my church even admitted it today. What I have done has never actually even been done. The solar flare that happened on the 12th has actually never even been done. Has never been done magically. The true insanity of my magic has actually never, ever been done. Like, ever been done. Ever. So, it's never been done. A solar flare. My 100 spells, the 100 spells that I summoned on the 11/11, summoned a solar flare on the earth on the 12th. I basically admitted to a sin that I can't even forgive. He didn't even know what to think when I told him what I'd done. He had no idea what to think when I tried to describe to him the Uresh that I'd done, the language of primordial chaos, and the 100 spells that I'd done against the Democrats and Gavin Newsom, and what had happened. The rainstorm in LA that's now striking up here right now, this very second, that is raining up here right now. It's hitting my window. Yeah, the flash. Yep. It's raining right now. It's going to rain until 11 a.m. tomorrow. So I can't do my shopping until after that's done. It's raining in LA. A 30-year fucking storm. I summoned a 30-year fucking storm in LA or San Diego and LA, a 30-year fucking storm. And there's a solar storm that happened on the 12th, right after my freaking 100 spells on the Democrats. They hit North America, which is freaking insane. My pastor, had no freaking idea what to even think about that kind of black magic. He knows sorcery's real. He knows black magic is real. His sermon today in church and Bible study had to do with sorcery. I did not tell him anything about what I had done on the 11/11. But his sermon in church and Bible study both had to do with sorcery. Both sermons, church and Bible study, both had to do with sorcery and witchcraft. Both of them did. They both had to do with witchcraft and sorcery and witchcraft and sin. Which I didn't say anything. I just simply told him that I had something I had to tell him in Bible study today, later on in the afternoon. I told him at the very end exactly what I had done. That I had done the 100 spells on the 11th and exactly what had happened. And then he realized the weather. And he had mentioned all that in the sermon earlier. And then he realized the connection. It was insane. He realized exactly the connection when I told him what I had done. That he connected two and two. He connected it right then and there what had happened. He knew something was up the whole time. The whole sermon during the morning church service, he knew something was up. The weather and the solar flare from the sun, he knew something was up. All of it was unusual. He knew it. Something was wonk. At that solar flare, it was like a category 5, I think it was a G5 is what they called it. It was a max. It was the highest solar flare or whatever. It was like the maximum solar flare. It hit the earth on the 12th. I was like on the third, it was on Tuesday, the 11th. Dana Kane had done her thing or whatever. She did her Tuesday. She had her 11/11 thing. She did her 11/11. She had the gates or whatever. She did her 11/11, the gates of the Hecate. She had her 11/11 gates of Hecate. During the day, she talked about her 11/11 thing, and then I did my 100 spells, which is on my live streams. You can go watch it right now. I guess some of you probably are going to go look at that right now. It lasted, I think it was like 51 minutes of live stream, it was like 51 or 57 minutes or whatever in the live streams. I did 100 spells. Urash, all of it's in Urash. None of it's translated. I kind of described a few of it. All of it's on the Democrats and Gavin Newsom. So all of it's centered on California and on the Northern Hemisphere. All of it's centered on, basically it's on the United States. So the Northern Lights. So Dana goes up to the hills. She bangs her leg on a rock or whatever in the daytime. That night, she goes on Thursday, bangs her leg on a rock or whatever, bleeds all over a rock. She gives a blood sacrifice to the gods. I guess Hecate wants a blood sacrifice. Well, I don't think Hecate takes blood sacrifices. I don't know. Hecate's Greek, Roman, I think mostly Greek and Roman. I guess it depends on the pronunciation. There's Hecate and Hecate. One's Greek, one's Roman, depending on how you pronounce it. I'm not sure if there's blood sacrifices involved, but there is definitely a blood sacrifice on Thursday when she goes up to the mountain, to the San Francisco mountains. There's a road barrier made up of raw rocks, jagged rocks. She trips on one of them, skins her knee, like her whole shin. She skins her whole shin, bleeds on that rock, which is a sacrifice, a blood sacrifice. I do blood sacrifices, but I just do like one drop of blood. She probably gives a teaspoon of blood to the goddess. Probably, I bet it may not be to Hecate. It's probably to my god, Valos, who definitely takes blood. My gods definitely drink blood. They're that kind of god. But yesterday, today's Monday, so my gods do take blood They're thirsty as fuck, and they would take blood. They take meat. They take all kinds of stuff like that. Blood on Thursday night when she went up for the Northern Lights, which is when the Northern Lights were supposed to be down in her area in Arizona, not giving cities, but Northern Lights were supposed to be in 17 states when the solar flare took place on Thursday. After my rituals were done, when they were manifesting, storms in California, flooding the crap out of California, where I cursed California to have all kinds of disasters and stuff over Gavin Newsom and the Democrats. So I did all that crap. And on Sunday, yesterday, my church's sermon was praying over the United States for disasters and all that. And he mentions the sun. And it's obvious I have control over the sun because I specifically mentioned the sun in probably over a dozen spells where I have control over the sun to make it rise in fury over the enemy, to make it burn them and singe them and turn them to white ash, because I asked it to burn them to white ash, to burn and destroy the enemy, as I always do. And let me check the weather. It looks like, yeah, rain's going to end at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So, yeah, I might be able to get out. So, we have in the sermon, they were praying over the United States, which is the second week in a row. Because last week, I did an attack on the United States itself because I wanted my food stamps back, and I got them back. I controlled Trump, and I got my food stamps back on time, on the day they normally would come back, and I did. I got them in full in statement, and Trump said they'd only be partly back, and Trump only partly reinstated food stamps at the time. And I got my full food stamps back when they were only partly instated. And I got everything back. And then I got the San Francisco card, which is $200. So I actually got a bonus from the city of San Francisco and my EBT. So I literally ripped off the government in a way by controlling the government. I literally controlled the government in a way by controlling Trump with the Uresh. By getting the government to reopen back earlier than they wanted. The EBT came back on time. And then San Francisco's program kicked in. So the city gives me more money, which is a good thing. So I'm going to have holiday. I got holiday and EBT. So we'll figure all that shit out. I'll probably do a review on how to use the city's money. I'm not going to show you how to use it. I'll just do a review on it, like after the fact, because I'm not going to show it. I'll just do a review on it later and how that stuff works. I'll probably do a cooking video on abalone. I'm going to have an abalone Thanksgiving and a duck Christmas. So those are going to be my two bonuses on this. That's usually when I treat myself. That's the only time I ever treat myself on the taxpayer dime. It's the only time I ever do it. I only do it twice a year. Thanksgiving and Christmas, I treat myself, and that's it. I save up all year to treat myself twice a year, and that's it. Just Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'll have something a little nice. This year, instead of duck, it'll be abalone duck. Abalone Thanksgiving and a duck at Christmas. So it'll probably be a little more expensive than usual because the city's going to give everybody a bonus here. And I hear Dana Marie Kane's going to have a bonus down there in Arizona. So we'll see what she does. It sounds like she's going to have a lot of people in her apartment. So hopefully she televises hers. I want to see her Thanksgiving because I'm thinking about televising mine. Because I'm thinking about I'm going to try to have a guest. I'm going to have my guest over. And hopefully my student stays over instead of just bails out or whatever. He's going to come over. And you're being a piece of shit. So you're going bye-bye. He had to be rude. He couldn't be nice. Only positive affirmations are allowed. Sorry. Sit and rotate, as a certain pedophile would always say. So that's how that goes. Well, the Bible study was really interesting. He finally learned about the grimoire that I wrote. The Uresh, the language of primordial chaos. I can write Christian prayers. He's totally fine with me writing Christian prayers in primordial chaos. I'm not sure he's capable of actually learning those prayers, but he's totally fine with me writing them, which I was actually surprised. But he did learn that I cast 100 curses on Tuesday. Which was freaking insane, but I'm surprised he didn't freaking panic over it. But we did have a prayer session over the trying to nullify it, but it didn't seem to do anything about the rainstorm. It looked like another one's gonna roll in. It doesn't look like anything can nullify the spells. The evil god is something nothing can beat. I tried. The evil god is actually God's equal and opposite counterpart. Nothing is gonna beat it. I tried. LA is just gonna have to face what's coming. I tried, and there's just nothing that can be done. LA is just gonna have to face wave after wave of flooding torrential rain. The hand of man cannot defeat that which I wrought upon LA. They're going to have to face it. I tried. Tried everything within my mortal power. Once the evil god is made aware of certain doings of the hands of liberals, it's gonna flood. And they're gonna be washed away. Doom will manifest. I did my best. Maybe I'm going to have to say those prayers in Uresh, but it took about 10 minutes to recite everything he said. and I didn't record it, so I did not have a time to translate it into Urage to recite it again. So there's no hope. I would have to have him re-say it again, and I would have to translate all that to Urage, and it would take me a hell of a long time to say it again. And I don't think I can do it because that's a lot of stuff. I said 100 curses in Urage, and I think it would take 100 prayers of Christ to undo it. I was pretty goddamn pissed when I did it. Urage is just one of those languages that when you say something and you mean it, it's going to take 101 prayers to undo it. I don't think 10 minutes of English can undo an 51 minutes of Urage or whatever to undo. I don't think that's how it works. Urage is primordial. Purest form of vibration. Purest form of creation. What you say in Urage is the purest form of vibration. Purest form of creation. It's like God spending 51 minutes saying or creating. And I didn't tell the pastor in my church 51 minutes of Urage is God spending 51 minutes creating. It's pretty hard to explain. I think it takes a bit of time explaining how the Urage works. It's just one of those things you just got to teach somebody. It's a college course. I wrote a college course on Urage, and it's a couple 100 pages long. Explaining how that language works. There's a whole dictionary of words, and I think the course just explaining how the phonetics of the language, I think is 20 pages long. I mean, actually, I'll go take a look how long just the phonetics of the language is. I'm actually going to take a look how long just the phonetics of Urage is. I'm going to just take a little bit how long it takes to look. The language. It's in the occult practices. Just to look at the alphabet itself of Urage. The most powerful occult language in existence. Because every practitioner who wants to use the Urage would have to create their own dictionary of words if they want to masterfully use it. It's like, yes, you can use my dictionary of words, but it's not going to be any more powerful than if you were to use any other occult language. But if you want to have absolute power, you would have to use your own dictionary of words if you want absolute power. Eight, 9, 10. It's 7 pages. It's only 7 pages. It's 7 pages. 7 pages. Yeah, it's about 7 pages. A little bit longer than 7 pages. Got learning and discernment. We got a little bit longer, so. I don't know who keeps popping in and out, but got some retard popping in and out. So the whole lesson that I have is about 18 pages. It's about 18 pages. So in the Pan Mythica, it's about 18 pages. And let's go to cultures. I think in cultures, I got a little bit more text in here. Let's see what I have in here. I think there's some more in here. So let's see. I think I just have a dictionary in here. Yeah, I just have a dictionary in cultures. In Urash culture, in Pan Mythica cultures, I only have a dictionary. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 more pages. 18, so it's 22 pages. I have 22 pages in the Pan Mythic. In the Pan Mythica, there's 22 pages of material on the Urash. And I think about 8 of those is dictionary. One of them is English to Urash, and the other one is Urash to English. So 8 pages is just words. So maybe 9 pages is words. There's actually not really a whole lot. And I'm actually missing some words, actually, because some of this is just. Some of them I'm actually missing some words because I haven't even gotten them yet. I actually do have an Urash training course specifically. Let's see how long it is. It's only 13 pages. I haven't even completed it yet. Well, there's only 9 pages of actual lessons. So there's only 9 pages of actual lessons. And that's it. It's only 9 pages. That's really not much. I haven't really worked on it that much. So I'm actually going to call this lesson pretty short. There's not much going on here. There's no interest in tonight. So I want to mention tonight's, actually yesterday's church sermon when I was mentioning the sermon about the solar storm, which was freaking insane that he knew something was up. And then I mentioned the 100 spells that actually literally mentioned solar storms in Urash and this magical language. So kind of wanted to bring that up. And I think the last thing I should probably bring up, the Cyrex thing, I think is pretty much done. He is not going to reach out, so that's pretty much done. It's over. I sent him a DM on Kick and he never responded. So that's done. It's never going to go anywhere. That was an actual direct message and he was actually too stupid to respond. So that failed 100%. So he's too dumb to respond, which sucks for him. It contained a direct message, which is better than snail mail, which means I'm not going to send any snail mail because he is actually too stupid to respond. So I'm not going to send snail mail to him now. He was too dumb to respond to a DM on Kick. Which means he's not smart enough to respond at all. I'm going to let him fail. He is not smart enough to respond whatsoever. The lawyer that I had lined up was actually going to fight the case. I literally had a lawyer that had a solid case against the trolls. And since Chance did not respond on Kick and did not call me in time, and the lawyer from HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, and he did not respond in time, he failed. And there was a case, and he failed, and he lost. And that actually sucks for him. And that's basically over with now. He lost. The lawyer is not going to bother anymore. I'm going to drop the case that I had built, and Chance is now on his own. HRC is not going to respond anymore because I am going to not respond, and Chance lost his opportunity to win the case. So Chance can no longer contact me. He lost his opportunity. That is now a lost deal. Too late. As of 48 minutes ago, Chance can no longer contact me over the case that I had created with HRC, the Human Rights Campaign. We had actually had a one case against the trolls. Since Chance did not contact me on Kick, where I had DM'd him, he had lost his case. We had a one deal. But since he had not contacted me, we're going to drop the case. We're not going to pursue it. We're going to walk away. I am going to contact the lawyer in the morning on Monday, or today is Monday. I'm going to contact them when they open their offices and say we drop the case because it is over. I'm going to say we forfeit and it is done. We're not going to pursue it, even though we had one or could have won. It was a human rights case that we could have won, but Chance never did contact me in time. So we're going to drop it. I'm going to drop the case because I was never contacted in time. So that's done. I'm going to drop the case. So that's over with. I'm no longer going to pursue this case with Chance Wilkin, the human rights lawyers, any of that shit. It's over with. Chance never contacted me in time. That shit's over with. There's nothing I can do. There's nobody that's willing to pursue the trolls. If any of the trolls decide they're going to pursue me, I will pick up the case again. And I'll pursue it concerning myself. If anyone comes after me, I will pursue it concerning myself. So that part's dealt with. They can go after Chance on their own. It looks like Chance is going to jail, and there's nothing I can do because he never did contact me. There's nothing I can do. He was too stupid to contact me and contact my lawyer. So there's nothing I can do about that. But if the trolls continue to harass me, there is a case because I will pursue that. Otherwise, Chance is on his own at this point. There is nothing I can do about that. Chance is on his own now. I call it quits on that. He fell on his sword. Bye-bye. Well, that sword is yours to fall on, Chance. I did my best. You fell on your own sword. You didn't contact me when you had your chance. Did everything I could, but you fell on your own sword. All I can do is protect myself now.